Urgent soulmate news: your person is finally ready to reveal what they've been hiding from you. My beloved child, if this message has reached you at this moment, take a deep breath and listen with an open heart, because there may be emotions, thoughts, and truths that your person has kept hidden for a long time. There are feelings that people carry silently because they do not know how to express them, because they are afraid of rejection, because they fear vulnerability, or because they are still trying to understand what their own heart is telling them. My beloved child, your person may have appeared calm on the outside while carrying a completely different story within. They may have smiled, continued their routine, spoken to others, and acted as though everything was normal, but deep inside, they may have been confronting questions they could no longer ignore. Why do I still think about this person? Why does their memory return when I least expect it? Why do certain moments remind me of them? Why do I feel something missing even when everything seems fine? Why did I walk away from someone who genuinely cared about me? These questions can become stronger with time, especially when distractions stop working and silence becomes unavoidable. My beloved child, your person may have tried to hide their feelings not because they felt nothing, but because they felt more than they knew how to handle. Sometimes the strongest emotions are the ones people struggle hardest to speak about. A person may fear saying, "I miss you," because those words reveal vulnerability. They may fear saying, "I regret what happened," because those words require accountability. They may fear saying, "I still care," because those words can open a door they are not sure they are ready to walk through. And yet, when feelings remain unresolved, silence does not always make them disappear. Sometimes silence makes them louder. My beloved child, there may have been a moment recently when something triggered a powerful memory of you. Perhaps it was a familiar place, a song, a photograph, a conversation, a date, or something as simple as seeing someone who reminded them of you. Suddenly, the emotions they had pushed away may have returned. They may have remembered the way you supported them, the way you listened, the way you made them feel understood, or the way your presence brought comfort during difficult moments. They may now be realizing that what they once considered ordinary was actually something deeply meaningful. My beloved child, sometimes we understand the value of a connection only after we experience life without it. When someone is always there, their presence can become familiar. When they are suddenly absent, the space they occupied becomes visible. Your person may now be noticing that empty space. They may be realizing that there are conversations they miss, moments they miss, and a particular emotional connection they cannot simply recreate. They may have tried to convince themselves that moving forward would be easy, but their heart may have refused to cooperate with that decision. My beloved child, this does not mean you should spend your days waiting for them. It means only that another person's internal journey may be more complicated than their outward behavior suggests. People often hide what they feel because they are afraid of what those feelings will require them to do. If your person admits that they still care, then they must also confront the reasons they became distant. They must confront their mistakes. They must consider whether they owe you an apology. They must decide whether they are ready to communicate honestly. They must face the possibility that you may no longer be waiting. This can create hesitation. My beloved child, your person may be asking themselves whether you would even listen if they finally told you the truth. They may wonder whether you still think about them. They may wonder whether you have healed. They may wonder whether someone else has entered your life. They may fear that the opportunity they once had has disappeared. This uncertainty can keep someone silent even when their heart is full of things they want to say. But remember, my beloved child, you do not need to solve their uncertainty for them. If they have something important to say, they must find the courage to say it. You can be compassionate without carrying their emotional responsibility. You can understand their fear without allowing their fear to control your life. You can care about someone and still maintain boundaries. My beloved child, perhaps this is why your person's next move may feel unexpected. They may not approach you in the dramatic way you imagine. It could begin with a simple message. It could be a small question. It could be a casual greeting. It could be an attempt to reopen communication without immediately revealing everything they feel. Sometimes people test the emotional temperature before they expose their heart. They want to know whether the other person is angry, indifferent, or still receptive. They may begin slowly because they are afraid of being rejected. If that happens, do not feel pressured to immediately give them everything they want. Allow the conversation to develop naturally. Listen to what they say and, more importantly, observe what they do. My beloved child, words can be beautiful, but consistency is what creates trust. Someone can say they miss you and still remain unwilling to change. Someone can say they regret losing you and still repeat the same behavior. Someone can say they love you and still fail to communicate. Therefore, if your person reveals hidden feelings, do not only listen to the emotion behind the words. Listen for responsibility. Listen for honesty. Listen for clarity. Are they acknowledging what happened? Are they willing to explain their behavior? Are they willing to hear your perspective? Are they prepared to rebuild trust slowly? These questions matter. My beloved child, you have every right to protect the heart you worked so hard to heal. If your person comes back, you do not need to become the old version of yourself who accepted uncertainty simply because you were afraid of losing them. You can be kind and still be careful. You can forgive and still have boundaries. You can love and still choose yourself. This is not coldness. This is maturity. My beloved child, perhaps your person has been hiding something much deeper than simple attraction. Perhaps they have been hiding regret. Perhaps they have been hiding how deeply your absence affected them. Perhaps they have been hiding that they still compare other experiences to what they shared with you. Perhaps they have been hiding that they never truly found closure. Maybe they thought time would erase the connection, but instead time gave them space to understand it. When distractions disappear, unresolved feelings often return to the surface. Your person may now be confronting those feelings directly. My beloved child, there is a difference between missing someone and being ready to build a healthy relationship with them. Your person may genuinely miss you while still having work to do within themselves. Do not confuse emotional intensity with emotional readiness. Someone can feel deeply and still behave poorly. Someone can love you and still need to learn how to communicate. Someone can regret losing you and still need time to become consistent. Therefore, if they reveal their feelings, let their actions over time tell you whether they are truly ready. My beloved child, you may have spent many nights wondering what they were thinking. You may have replayed old conversations in your mind. You may have wondered whether they cared as much as you did. You may have asked yourself whether their silence meant indifference. But silence can have many meanings. Sometimes it means avoidance. Sometimes it means confusion. Sometimes it means fear. Sometimes it means someone does not know how to communicate what they feel. And sometimes it means they have chosen to move forward. You cannot know which one it is until their actions reveal the truth. This is why you must not build your life around assumptions. My beloved child, allow reality to speak. If your person is ready to reveal what they have been hiding, give them room to speak, but do not fill in the blanks for them. Let them tell you. Let them explain. Let them show you. You deserve clarity, not endless guessing. You deserve a relationship where you can ask questions without feeling guilty. You deserve a connection where vulnerability is welcomed rather than punished. You deserve someone who can communicate when things become difficult instead of disappearing. My beloved child, perhaps your person has been rehearsing what they want to say. They may have imagined different conversations with you. They may have wondered how you would respond. They may have written something and deleted it. They may have opened your conversation and closed it again. They may have wanted to reach out but stopped themselves. This kind of hesitation can happen when someone knows that one message could change everything. They understand that once they speak the truth, they cannot pretend they feel nothing anymore. My beloved child, perhaps they are realizing that avoiding the conversation has not brought them peace. The feelings remain. The memories remain. The questions remain. And eventually, a person may reach a point where honesty becomes easier than continued avoidance. That may be the stage your person is approaching. But remember, you cannot force that moment. Let them choose courage on their own. My beloved child, your job is not to chase hidden feelings. Your job is to live your life with dignity. If they truly want to reveal something, they will eventually need to take responsibility for expressing it. You can remain open without becoming obsessed. You can remain hopeful without becoming dependent. You can care without waiting every second. Your life continues regardless of their decision. My beloved child, there may be a reason you are hearing this message during a season of emotional uncertainty. Perhaps you have been asking for clarity. Perhaps you have been tired of mixed signals. Perhaps you have been trying to understand whether the connection meant what you believed it meant. Let yourself step away from the endless analysis. You do not need to know every thought inside your person's mind. You need to know what they are willing to do in reality. That is where clarity lives. My beloved child, if they return and say they have been thinking about you, ask yourself whether their behavior supports that statement. If they say they regret the past, ask whether they understand what caused the pain. If they say they want another chance, ask whether they are prepared to build trust again. If they say they have changed, allow time to demonstrate it. You do not need to reject them immediately, but you also do not need to accept everything immediately. You can move slowly. You can observe. You can protect yourself. My beloved child, sometimes a person's biggest fear is discovering that the person they left has grown beyond them. Your person may be wondering whether you still need them. They may be wondering whether you have become stronger. They may sense that your energy has changed. Maybe you no longer chase. Maybe you no longer send the messages you once sent. Maybe you no longer react to their silence. This can create a powerful realization: you are no longer standing in the same place. You have grown. And growth changes relationships. My beloved child, when someone realizes that you have become emotionally independent, they may begin to see you with greater respect. They may recognize that your love was never desperation. It was a choice. And now that you are no longer depending on them for your sense of worth, they may understand the difference between someone who needs them and someone who genuinely chooses them. That distinction can be powerful. My beloved child, if your person has something hidden inside their heart, allow them to reveal it when they are ready. Do not pressure them. Do not send messages designed to force a confession. Do not manipulate circumstances. Genuine truth does not need manipulation. If they truly want to speak, they will find a way. And when they do, you will be able to decide how much of your heart you want to share. My beloved child, you have learned from the past. You know what confusion feels like. You know what uncertainty feels like. You know what it is like to wonder whether someone will choose you. You do not have to return to that emotional state. If your person comes forward, let the new connection be built on clarity. Let both people speak honestly. Let both people take responsibility. Let both people be willing to listen. Let both people understand that healing takes time. My beloved child, there is something beautiful about someone finally finding the courage to say what they have been afraid to say. Perhaps your person will tell you they missed you. Perhaps they will admit that they were wrong. Perhaps they will tell you they never stopped caring. Perhaps they will explain why they became distant. Perhaps they will confess that they were scared of how deeply they felt. Perhaps they will tell you that they thought moving on would be easier than it was. Whatever the revelation may be, remember that you deserve to hear the truth without manipulation or emotional games. My beloved child, if they open their heart, listen with calmness. You do not have to respond from the pain of the past. You can respond from the wisdom you have gained. You can say what you feel without attacking. You can explain what hurt without trying to punish them. You can express what you need without apologizing for having needs. This is how mature communication begins. My beloved child, perhaps this hidden truth has been growing inside your person for a long time. Sometimes emotions begin as a small thought and become stronger through repetition. They remember one moment. Then another. They wonder what could have happened differently. They imagine seeing you again. They wonder whether you would smile. They wonder whether you would be cold. They wonder whether they still have a chance. These thoughts can gradually transform into a desire for contact. But again, let them choose the action. You do not need to do their part. My beloved child, you may feel a strong urge to reach out because you sense that something is changing. Before you act, ask yourself why you want to reach out. Is it because you genuinely want to communicate? Or is it because anxiety wants immediate reassurance? Is it because you are ready for a healthy conversation? Or because you are afraid they will forget you? These questions can protect your heart. You do not need to act from fear. My beloved child, sometimes the most powerful response is patience. Patience allows reality to reveal itself. If someone is sincere, time will not destroy sincerity. If someone is only acting from temporary loneliness, time will expose that too. You do not have to rush. You can allow people to demonstrate who they are. My beloved child, your person's hidden feelings may be real, but your future should not depend on them. Keep working on your dreams. Keep building your confidence. Keep spending time with people who value you. Keep taking care of your emotional world. Keep creating a life that feels meaningful. When love enters that life, it should complement your peace rather than become the source of it. My beloved child, there may come a moment when your person finally says something you never expected to hear. Perhaps they will admit that they were wrong about you. Perhaps they will tell you that they underestimated your love. Perhaps they will reveal that they tried to forget you and failed. Perhaps they will say that they realized what they had only after losing it. But remember that your response is yours to choose. You do not have to immediately say yes. You do not have to immediately say no. You can simply say, I need time to process this. That is a powerful and healthy response. My beloved child, your heart deserves time. Your mind deserves clarity. Your future deserves wisdom. Do not let one emotional conversation erase months of pain if the underlying issues have not been addressed. If your person truly wants another chance, they will understand why you need time. They will not pressure you. They will respect your boundaries. They will show consistency. My beloved child, this is how you will know whether the hidden truth is connected to genuine transformation. If they can communicate even when the conversation is uncomfortable, that is meaningful. If they can apologize without making excuses, that is meaningful. If they can accept your feelings without becoming defensive, that is meaningful. If they can remain consistent after the emotional moment has passed, that is even more meaningful. My beloved child, never be impressed only by the intensity of someone's return. Be impressed by the consistency of their presence afterward. Anyone can make a dramatic promise in an emotional moment. Real change is demonstrated on ordinary days. Real love appears in communication, patience, respect, reliability, and effort. My beloved child, perhaps your person is learning this lesson now. Perhaps they once believed that you would always be available. Perhaps they believed that they could return whenever they wanted. But now they may realize that your heart is not a revolving door. If they want access to your life again, they need to approach with respect. They need to understand that trust is earned. My beloved child, you are allowed to be different now. You are allowed to have higher standards. You are allowed to say, I care about you, but I need consistency. You are allowed to say, I forgive you, but I need time. You are allowed to say, I am willing to talk, but I will not return to the same pattern. These boundaries are not punishments. They are protection. My beloved child, perhaps the revelation your person is preparing to make is not only about their feelings toward you. It may also reveal something about themselves. They may finally understand why they ran. They may recognize their fear of intimacy. They may recognize their habit of avoiding difficult conversations. They may understand how their own insecurities affected the relationship. This kind of self-awareness can be the beginning of real change. My beloved child, if your person reaches that level of honesty, listen carefully. A person who can recognize their own mistakes is capable of growth. A person who blames everyone else remains trapped. You do not need someone who is perfect. You need someone who is willing to learn. My beloved child, perhaps you have been waiting for an explanation. Maybe you wanted to know why they suddenly changed. Maybe you wondered why they became distant after showing so much interest. Maybe you questioned whether the connection was real. Their eventual honesty may answer some of those questions. But even if every question is not answered, you can still move forward. Closure does not always come from another person's explanation. Sometimes closure comes from accepting what happened and choosing not to let it control your future. My beloved child, if this person is truly your soulmate or significant connection, remember that even meaningful connections require healthy behavior. A strong emotional bond does not excuse disrespect. A deep connection does not excuse manipulation. A powerful attraction does not excuse dishonesty. Love and accountability must exist together. My beloved child, your person's hidden feelings may become visible, but your discernment must remain active. Let the truth unfold slowly. Let their behavior speak. Let